I want to do a quick update on what happened at Mayo County Council's monthly meeting that took place on Monday of this week. Most people will remember what happened at last month's meeting, where a motion was passed by Mayo County Council to, amongst other things, cease cooperation with the Department of Integration until such time as an adequate strategy was put in place regarding services and resources in communities that are hosting refugees and asylum seekers. Now, the fact that this made national news headlines last month, I was very interested to see what would happen at Mayo County Council meeting this month. Would we get an update and find out if in fact Mayo County Council, especially senior management, had ceased cooperation with Roderick O'Gorman's department. So I went along and attended the meeting. It started on Monday at 2 p.m. and there was no mention of it. I had to leave at 5:30. The only mention of it was when Councillor Al MacDonald brought up the cut in funding to the active travel. He made the point, and he had a press statement all ready to go, which he handed to the press after he delivered this in the council chamber. Didn't bother waiting until the end of the meeting, only stayed about an hour. But he said that the reason the active travel funding had been cut for Mayo is because of the motion that was passed the previous month. And that he said the councillors here need to address this. However, he left it up to the councillors as to how it should be addressed. But he said we need to build our credibility again with Taoiseach Leo Varadkar in order to get this funding reinstated. So that was Weird Al's take on what happened. Now, he left after that. Bear in mind, he never objected the month previous when this motion was taken. He wasn't even in the chamber. Now, it's stated that he was there, so maybe he attended remotely, but didn't bother to contribute to that discussion. Same as Gerard Deere has come out and regretted it since, but wasn't able to say anything on the day itself. So after Councillor Weird Al MacDonald left, Donna Sheridan responded and basically said that he was totally wrong. Councillor MacDonald was totally wrong in what he said. This active travel funding has been cut in lots of places, lots of councils around the country, and it had nothing to do with the motion that was passed by Mayo County Council. So she just wanted to put that on the record. The only other mention of any sort of immigration issues on the day, I believe, happened coming up to 7 o'clock. As I say, I was gone from 5:30, but there were other people there in the public gallery, and the reports I got back were that Councillor Seamus Weir brought up the fact that, or the rumour that he heard, that there was a new migrant centre or refugee centre going into Attymass. Now, when he brought it up, looking for information on this, he was heckled somewhat, supposedly, by his fellow councillors, and asked not to name places, that it's not helpful and it might be reported and we could have got the wrong end of the stick and it just could cause fear. But he brought it up again. He said these are rumours that he's heard and that he wants to and has to report back to his constituents, and that was it. Unfortunately, he didn't get any confirmation as to whether or not there is a new migrant centre being set up in Attymass. But that was it. I was amazed that with the national headlines the month before, that there was no mention, no serious discussion at all about the ongoing immigration emergency that we're facing here in the county and across the country, obviously. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it should be the number one issue on the agenda every single month. Even with the figures, I mean, I don't know if we're still getting, if weekly figures are being put out now. I know they've been on to the Director of Services, Tom Gilligan, in Mayo County Council for months now at this stage to put out the figures. He blames the department, saying that the figures they're getting aren't reliable. Why are they not reliable? These figures should be coming out every week, how many people have come into the county, and we should know where they're going. And how many of them are like that 60% nationally who have arrived here illegally? How many illegal economic asylum seekers or economic migrants do we have living in County Mayo? This issue is not going away. It's only going to get worse, and the only way we're going to stop it is by talking about it to your friends and neighbours, writing letters and emails to your publicly elected representatives, attending any public assemblies or protests or meetings in your area, and be ready for the local and national elections when they roll around. The locals happening in June, I think, of this year. So We need to get some good candidates running and strong candidates on this mass immigration issue.